Okay, thank you so much for having me. So we're going to share a short video before we start, so you guys understand who I am and where I came from and where Rwandan genocide, what happened. Hello everyone. Today, I want to take you on a journey through Rwanda's history and share an incredible story of resilience and hope. Rwanda's history is shaped by the complex relationship between the Hutu and Tutsi tribes, two groups that were not always in conflict. The roots of their troubles began in the 19th century when European colonizers divided Africa, placing the Tutsi in power and instituting identity cards that labeled individuals by ethnicity. This governmental division sowed seeds of discord, leading to decades of resentment, paranoia, and violence throughout the 20th century. In the midst of this turmoil is the story of a young girl. But her story doesn't begin in Rwanda. Born in Bucharest, Romania, her life began with challenges. Abandoned by her mother at just 3 months old, she found her first sense of belonging with her grandmother. Here, she experienced love and support until the age of 7. At 7, she moved to Rwanda, a land far from what she was used to, where everything was different, even the language. She was confused and scared. Her only comfort was her older sister. Her father's house was a place of chaos and abuse, and at school, she was bullied for looking different. And then came 1994. Decades of unrest erupted into horror as the extremist Hutus launched a genocide that in just 100 days claimed nearly 1 million lives, Tutsis and moderate Hutus alike. She was 14 when the killing began. The day the killer stormed her home, she hid in the backyard, frozen as the screams of her family filled the air. Then silence, and she ran. When it was over, Rwanda was unrecognizable. 10% of its population was gone. 80% of the Tutsi community had been wiped out. Millions were displaced. Somehow, after running and hiding for 100 days, she survived. But survival came at a cost. Alone and broken, the horrors she had witnessed followed her, haunting her every time she closed her eyes. Yet Rwanda refused to remain in darkness. The nation rose from its pain, not defined by suffering, but by resilience. Today, it stands as a beacon of hope, proving that even the deepest wounds can heal, and the future can always be rewritten. And the young girl, she also refused to remain in the darkness. I am Marie-Christine Williams, and this is my story. Yes, I survived the Rwandan genocide, one of the broadest massacres in recorded history. But I also learned that some people are capable of evil, but I also learned some people can be heroes. I'm still here today because of generosity, of courage, of strangers who risked their lives so I could live. And this is my message to you. Ordinary people like you and me can be heroes for each other. We can help each other survive, whatever our challenges are. And today, I'm telling you my story. So this is what I remember. I was 14 years old at my father's house in Rwanda, Kigali, when the genocide began. I was just an ordinary 14-year-old child who was curious about life, about everything. I was full of life. But at the same time, a lot of things was going around the country. The genocide was brainwashed. We started seeing changes and hatred expanding during the time of the April 1994. So everything, like a month before, 2 months before, and you go back 2-3 months, they were handing out machetes, they were doing a lot of meetings and bringing people together. And they had another radio propaganda called RTM, which was propaganda, Hutu tribe. Everybody listened to that radio. So you have to remember in Rwanda, it was the third world country. a lot of people didn't have education. And a lot of people, they were just farmers. They had no education. So it was very easy for them to be brainwashed by different people, like Belgians, when they came in the 19th centuries. They told the people that if you're tall, you're Tutsi, and if you're short, you're Hutu. So they put people against each other to hate each other. So the hate and the hatred was actually groomed between the two tribes. Because if you look Rwandans were all the same. We speak the same language. The difference was, well, if you were tall, they identified you as Tutsi. Can you imagine losing your life because you're taller than somebody else? Can you imagine some people who were shorter had taller children? Can you imagine they also died? So when the genocide began, that hatred exploded. So this genocide was completely different. It was very well planned. Looking at the things they were doing ahead of time before the genocide. So when the genocide began, they had a list of people they wanted to kill. They knew how many members for each neighborhood, how many people who lived in each household. I'm going to tell you one thing. If you take a Hutu tribe person and you put that person next to a Hutu, you will never be able to tell them apart. That's how much hatred can really destroy a country. And the hatred can destroy people's lives. Especially if it's people who doesn't have education, who have nothing to live for, they can believe whatever somebody else is going to tell them. So when the Belgians came and invaded, took Rwanda as a colony, Rwanda had no gold, Rwanda had no oil. So to them, it was a waste of time. So if you look at the Rwandan history, so they shifted between Belgium, oh, I don't want Rwanda, oh, you can have Rwanda. Rwanda's like, no, you can take Rwanda back. They shifted the colony between them. We became French colony, then we became Belgium colony, and they keep shifting around because there was nothing in that country. The poorest country in the world of Rwanda. So basically in 1994, by the 1994, it was a chaos. They killed the Rwandan president, the person was the president then, and they blamed on Tutsis for killing the president. So everybody who listened to that radio propaganda, they decided, like, oh, you know what? They killed our president because of that radio I was telling you about. They brainwashed people to hate them. I grew up with a lot of Tutsi and a lot of Hutu children who went to school with me. Their parents, they were Hutus. You can't even tell them apart. You can't even tell that they were Tutsis or they were Hutus. So because of people who were brainwashed and they were not educated enough to say, hey, this is wrong, and to step up, a lot of people died. So when my house was attacked, I can tell you, I spent 100 days in the jungle running for my life, naked. I didn't know where my family was. I didn't know what was going to happen to me. Everywhere I went, it was a chaos. It was not just a chaos of people dying. I was desperate for someone to help me, to save me. And you know what? I was also judged because I was biracial in the third world country, so they saw me as different than them. I always looked different. That's why even in schools I was bullied. In the third world countries, if I looked a little bit lighter skinned, it was bad for me. See, in school, they used to put me in a corner, all by myself, because they didn't know which tribe to put me in. I didn't look like Tutsi, I didn't look like Hutu, so like, okay, you go over there. I was abused, not just by the teachers, I was abused by everyone. I was even scared to be on the street. I was this child who was always scared. Like, oh, if I go play with other kids, someone is going to hit me, someone is going to hurt me. I was always scared of everything. Every morning when I woke up, I didn't think I was going to live. Every day when I woke up, I had hope. I'm like, maybe someday someone is going to save my life. So during the Rwandan genocide, when I was running around, I learned a lot. Strangers can sometimes lift you up in a moment of sadness. I remember meeting this old lady. I was running and my feet were completely broken. And she gave me her socks. She gave me a skirt she was wearing. She had this tiny little plastic bag and gave me the little food she had. And she told me, she's like, you got this. And for the first time in my entire life, I had someone encouraging me, lifting me up, a stranger who never met me, trying to tell me, hey, you got this. You're young, you're strong, you can get through this. And my journey didn't end there. Every time I hid, I have to move places because it was dogs, wild dogs everywhere. They were hunting people like animals. A lot of people, they tried also to hide like me. They didn't get a chance. And for me, standing here in front of you and sharing my story is not just because I'm sharing you a negative story. This is just what made me a stronger person. My story made me love people more and made me appreciate the things I have in life. And my story made me become successful. When I lost hope, I lifted myself up and I didn't give up. Even when I fell once, I lifted myself again, I kept moving. Because of my household, with my father's abuse, I think that saved my life. Because my father used to tell me that even your mother didn't want you. I was abandoned by everyone. Nobody ever told me they loved me. So remembering all those things, during my journey through genocide, I would get angry. I'm better, I can do this, I can go through this. I can show my father that I can do something positive for myself. My father used to call me worthless. That was my nickname. Every time my father came home, I would go and hide. Basically, during the Rwandan genocide, every time I'm about to give up about my life, I'm about to give up hope, I'm about to give up my life and just completely give up, I would remember the things my father used to call me, all the names he used to call me, all abuses, all the names. And you know what? That actually made me get angrier, wanting to live and wanting to have a good life. And that's why I tell people, if you're struggling, is how you come ahead. We all have problems, we all have a past, we all have things that have changed our lives, but it's how we come out of the struggles that's very important. Because if you let your past affect your future, if you let your past control your life, you will never get anywhere. You will never be successful. You will never wake up and say, hey, you know what? I'm strong and I'm here today. So my story, through the Rwandan genocide, I'm running around, I'm naked, I'm meeting all these people, they're also scared. I remember one time, they marched near a bridge with many other women and children. You know, one thing that saved me, I remember every word from a stranger I met who told me, what's your name? I would just hide. I didn't trust people. And this one guy, he was like, what's your name? Oh, Christine. And he's like, you're Christine. I'm like, yeah, my name is Marie Christine, but I go by Christine. And he was like, you got this, you got run, don't look back. You have to keep chasing the future. So my getaway from what he told me before he died, he was like, no matter what you go through, run towards the sunlight. Don't look back in your past. Focus on positive, because you know what? The negativities. It's so easy to sit in the dark and be angry. I remember every time when I got up and I remembered my life, how much I have suffered, how much my mother has abandoned me, and all the things I went through. I used to think I was really worthless. I was believing my abusers. Once one person keeps telling me the same thing, it's simply your brain and you start believing in it. And that's the wrong thing to do.
Sometimes, if someone have done something to you, it doesn't matter if they were trying to do horrible things or try to kill you, or like me who was running for my life. You have to learn one thing that's very hard is to forgive. Is to forgive and accept your life and accept your past and be strong and find yourself. So I remember when this man told me, run looking forward, don't ever look in the past. You're young, you're strong, you're smart. That was the first time ever an adult ever told me that I was smart and I was strong and I can run faster than these people and I can survive. This man, a stranger, saved my life. That's why whenever I go places, I encourage people to give other people a chance, to get to know them, to get to know, because you never know. The stranger will come to your life, you don't know. They might be put there to help you out. You don't know why. Some people come to your life to teach you a lesson, and some people come to your life to help you and be there for you. So I remember, so I'm running to the bridge. This guy grabbed me. He grabbed me and threw me back on the floor, and he hit me with a machete. I had so many scars on my body. He grabbed me. I remember the last swing of his machete. I moved. He threw me off the bridge. But another stranger came to dig through the dead body, and he found me. He carried me on his back for a while. He dumped me in an empty hospital where there was no doctors, we had no electricity, everybody there, they were dying from infection. I was angry to have survived. I was angry, wondering, I couldn't feel my legs, I couldn't feel my arms, I couldn't feel my head, I couldn't feel the back of my head. And I was wrapped in plastic bags because of my wounds. My body was so infected that the doctors, when the genocide ended, they wanted to amputate my left leg. But I'm standing on both of them. I believe that if you have courage to let your past behind, try hard to find some way, somehow, to find the peace with your life, you could be positive. You could have a life that you always dreamed of. I tell people, it's never too late to start over. It's never too late to love people. It's never too late to find peace with your life. Earlier today I was here, I told students, I encourage students, I was like, you know what, if you see someone who's struggling, say hi. Recognize them. Remember this, you don't know what they're going through. If you see someone who's alone, sitting on a corner by themselves, go talk to them, go sit with them. And also, why can't you have everybody bring different dishes? You guys share different meals, get together. I teach you a couple of languages, couple of words in different languages, we share and we make it fun. And we bond and get to know each other. In these days, it's so easy to judge people without knowing them. Well, it's so easy to judge by appearance. But I remind people, that's wrong, because in Rwanda, it wasn't even about the color of your skin anymore. It was about your height. You can't control your height. Can you imagine? That's why I tell people, who cares about color? We all breathe the same blood. Let's just accept each other, embrace each other. At least in this country, nobody's going to judge you by your height. Going back to Rwanda, a lot of people have suffered. Rwanda was the poorest country, but if you Google Rwanda today and you see the things Rwanda have done, we don't have Hutus, we don't have Tutsis, all the tribal, the things they were doing before, it's gone. It's all gone, it's no more Tutsis, it's no more Hutus. We're Rwandans, we live together. We judge each other by our morals and character. We don't go around and judging people by the height. The government completely shifted and changed the country in a way that is one of the most successful countries in Africa right now. The cleanest country in Africa. The country where in the past I couldn't even sleep. I used to sleep on the bed. It was times when we used to go and sleep outside. Remember, based on that radio propaganda I was telling you about, people will listen to it. A lot of people like us, we will be scared. We will go split in the backyard and sleep outside. It was so many times we packed in the middle of the night and left the house and slept around the neighborhood, split around, because we were scared. But when I went back to Rwanda and I saw the things that they have changed, the safety they have created, and everybody really, it's no more of that. Because educated people, it is so important to educate people. It's so important to lift the people up. Even when they're wrong, it's okay to disagree. It's okay to have differences, but it's not okay to hate each other. So the most important thing is how can we make a difference? What can I do to help you? And what can you do to help her? And what can you do to help a stranger? What can we do to change mentality? Because what happened in Rwanda is happening everywhere else. It's not just about Rwanda. So I share my story about what happened in Rwanda as an example, what we want to prevent. So if we can sprinkle some love towards people, if we can love people, if we can show kindness, if we can give people a chance, trust me, I think we can make a difference. So that's my message to me, to you, to everybody else, and I really, really appreciate everybody here today. But I really do like to share, this is one of my favorite things I like to do. I always share this because it kind of really helped me. This here changed my life in so many ways. And, you know, it's called triumph over everything, okay? And acknowledge the pain instead of running from it. Recognize that you're struggling. Recognize that you're going through things instead of masking it. A lot of people mask their problems through alcohol, drugs, gambling, doing different things. But recognizing that you're in pain, don't run from the pain. Face it. Find someone to help you. Find someone to talk to. To me, that really did help me. Once I started recognizing and facing my problems, that really helped me a lot. And also recognizing the past doesn't define you. Whoever told me I was worthless, look where I am today. I built a very good life. I proved them wrong. So, your past, it doesn't really affect who you want to be tomorrow. You're the one who's going to create your own story. You're going to write your own future. Nobody else have the power to change the way you think, you know, and change negative thought. That, to me, was the most horrible thing to try to do. I always had nightmares, even like during the day. I would be sitting doing something, I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe my family's gone. Oh, I can't believe this. I will really drain in emotions so quickly, you know, and I will try to challenge. I'm like, no, today I'm going to have a good day. I will get up and put my shoes on and get out of the house. And before, I used to crawl in the bed for days, crying for days, crying for people who have gone, died, who will never come back. And seeking professional help, you deserve the support. It doesn't matter what you're going through. To you, it might feel like you're embarrassed to share, but you can shop around. It's like shopping for a car. Go to different doctors until you find the one you feel comfortable talking to. You have to open up if you really, really want to build a good life. And, you know, the number 5, you have to learn how to show yourself. They love you very tonight. The rejections, people who rejected you in the past, people who have harmed you verbally, people who have abused you. It doesn't matter if you're in a bad relationship or you went through something or whatever it is. You know what? You have to learn how to do stuff you love. Every day, if you did one positive thing for yourself, or even looking in the mirror and say, I'm beautiful, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I got this, tomorrow's going to be a better day, it can actually also help you understand that healing is a process. A lot of people think like, I'm going to go see a counselor, and tomorrow I'm going to be better, but usually when you go to a counselor, you go home and feel worse than you were when you walked in. So, so the most important thing is you have to remember it takes time. It takes time to heal. It takes time to trust people. It takes time to open up about your life. It takes time to heal. It took me over 30 years, and I'm 45 years old, and I'm still crying about my childhood. A childhood, that little hug I never had from my father, that little love I never had. Nobody ever called me, say, we love you. I never had a Christmas present. I never had anyone say, we got you, we have you. We have your back, we're here for you. So for me, it kind of really still hurts me sometimes, you know. So, you know, number 7, you believe that you deserve more, but you have to plant the seed in your mind that, you know what? So what if I went through this? I'm still here. What do I do tomorrow? Plan something, make a plan for the next 5 years. Where do you want to be next 5 years? Have something to build on your life that is going to give you something positive to look forward. I tell you, some people, build a business is okay. You fail once, okay. Fail twice, okay. Fail 3 times, 4 times is okay. Fail 10 times, but keep moving. Keep doing things that you love. And don't ever let anyone tell you that you cannot do it. Because you deserve more, you know. And overcoming self-acceptance. I used to hate myself so much. I used to look in the mirror. And all I saw, it was worthlessness staring back at me. I would look in the mirror, I would search for something, anything, to love about myself. And I would find nothing. I was empty. I was depressed. But you know what? Once I started doing little things, baby steps, I got tired being depressed. I got tired being angry. I got tired blaming others for the things I went through. One morning I wake up, I was done. I said, this is it. I need to change my life. But you have to want to change your life if you really want to get there. Changing your life is showing the love, that love you need. You don't need love from strangers. You need to love yourself first. You know. Don't ever believe that you're not lovable. You are lovable, no matter what. Thank you so much for having me today. Oh my gosh. Yeah. No, I just have something in my eye. Yeah, do you guys have any questions for me? Yeah, please.
I do.
Okay.
Have you ever gone back to Rwanda and given a speech? Or
Yes,
talk?
yes, I have done a bunch of different things. I also worked in the UN, and I have really expanded my speech in different languages. I speak 5 fluent languages. My first language is French. I speak Rwandan. I speak Swahili, of course, and I speak Romanian. I was born in Bucharest. So I really try so hard to lift people up. I try so hard to share certain things that can change people's lives in a positive way. Yes, I'm very involved in Rwanda. Yes? No? Okay. Do you have any questions?
I have another one.
Oh, good.
How was that received? How was you received in Rwanda at your first return there to speak?
Okay, so you know, for me, like I was saying, the genocide when the genocide was going on, I was just 14. I lived in a hospital in France for 4 years, and I needed to get some closure. So the first time I went back, I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't really walk, I couldn't really feel my feet. I just went back to see what happened to my family. Where was my neighborhood, if anybody survived. So I went back to get closure. Everything I left there, when I took off running, everything was still there. But then, it was painful for me to stay. I was very scared, I was worried, because we didn't know how safe Rwanda was after 4 years of genocide. Then I started going every 5 years. Then I started going every 2 years. And it's a huge difference. Everybody receives me very well because I promote a message of hope and resilience.
Good.
I would like to ask you about your book, if you don't mind. Had you written before, or is this you telling your story your first time you've ever written anything?
Okay, so I used to sit and write some notebooks when I was in the middle of the night when I couldn't sleep, about how I feel, where my life was, trying to connect the dots about my life. Me writing that book was never in plan. I never planned to write anything. I never planned to change my career. I never planned to become a speaker. Everything came to me. So once I will start writing stuff down, every time I was depressed, today is dead and blah, blah, blah. This is how I feel today. Years ago, my sister died. Years ago, this is what happened to me. When I was a child, the first time I looked in an airplane window, the first feeling that I had, what happened that moment when I was 7 years old, going to a country I didn't know anything about. So I started writing stuff down and I put everything together. I gave them to the right people, helped me out to do it because I couldn't really sit again and go through everything again. It was very painful. But this was the first step of healing, is opening up and sharing, just little by little. God helped me.
So has this been a cathartic experience to be able to?
Yeah, for me, the first time I saw this book, I was like, oh, what have I done? Kind of like, I can't believe I did this. Oh, I feel good. Then I'm like, if you look at the first page, it says, my son will know, Sean Williams will know. So I was writing to my son, so he knows who I am, where I came from, just in case something will ever happen to me. And I was writing because his father just passed away, and I was like, I have to open up. If I don't open up and something happens to me, my son will never know who I used to be. So I did this just thinking about the future of myself. And slowly I grew through doing more and more. I love what I do, including the book, because it tells the story, but also it's not very a polished story that I'm actually sharing. I'm sharing, it's not sugar-coated, you sit and you read it and it hits you. That's what I wanted, because I wanted people to see the truth of what it is.